Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's enjoying themselves wherever you are, whenever you are, however you are. As I try desperately to fade that music down. Ah, my goodness. Show me, don't tell me. So it's obviously it's the name of the show, as you've probably noticed. And then a lot of you are like, it makes me think of that Rush song. Hey, well, guess what? That was that Rush song. What do you think? Do you still think of it? I think so. So I hope, hopefully, we can cover this. I'm going to try to make this a quick show, and I know I've said that before, and it's almost like the curse when I try to say I'm going to make this a quick show. But whatever the case is, I'm going to try to make this a quick show. We'll see how it plays out. Show me, don't tell me has to do with a number of things. Well, okay, cover business. Yeah, I'm never going to figure this out. Maybe I will one day. We'll see. Who knows? It's fun. Dan Radio Style. That's the channel. Please subscribe. Always enjoy subscribers. It's great when you guys come on board. And, and I just go and log in one day, and I'm like, oh, wow, I got some people that actually subscribe. Whether you actually listen, just subscribe. That's all. I just want to see that number. It's like how many people liked my thing in Facebook. It's just a stupid metric that, it's cool. All right. Outside of that, if you want to get in touch with me, contact me at spiritradiodanstyle@gmail.com. Yeah, you can contact me that way. All right. We're going to get into the business, the good stuff. Try to make this quick. Show me, don't tell me. Has a lot to do with the principle that, one, I'm very fond of. It's kind of something I sort of expect, bad choice of words. It's if I'm going to trust somebody, generally they've demonstrated it to me, or if there's something I'm going to ask someone's advice. For example, how do you build a house? I'm not going to ask someone who's never done that. I'm not going to ask someone that has no idea how a saw works. Show me, don't tell me, or make sure the person can demonstrate that which you are seeking. So if you're looking for any sort of advice or help or something, that's a great way to kind of go about it. And I will say, and this is kind of funny, and this isn't really, I wasn't planning on going in this direction, but it brought up an interesting thought. I was brought up Catholic. I've said this before, right? So I went to Catholic school, and I actually went through a period of time where I even thought I wanted to be a priest, and I'm weird, whatever the case was. But what always really, truly cracked me up about the Catholic priests is like when a marriage is having issues, they will go and talk to the priest. What does a priest know about being married? Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. They barely know relationships. If they're lucky, they had something way back when. But, once you become a priest, you don't marry. You don't have kids. You don't do any of that stuff. You live in the little commune thing attached to the church, and they pay for everything for you, and you just talk a lot of God stuff, and marry people and do communion and stuff, So anyway, I don't know. It always tripped me out. Like, they don't know anything about marriage. Whatever. But, I just met a couple, the woman comes into this coffee shop I work at, and this is a great example. She comes in early every morning on the week, well, at least the days I work. It's only 2 days a week. But she comes in early, and she's just a sweet old lady, and she gets like a small cup of coffee every day. Boom, black, there you go, and I love it. She comes in and pays, and we have our little chit-chat, and then she goes out her merry way, and usually her husband's waiting for her in the car. And he came in on Sunday, and I said, "Oh, hey, how's she doing? Where's she at?" And I don't know her name. And I said, "Where's she at?" And he goes, "Oh, she's at home sleeping." And I go, "And you're just coming down here to get the coffee for her?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "Man, you're awesome. How long you guys been married?" And he said, 53 years. 53. I can't even wrap my head around that. 53 years. That's amazing. I was just like, wow, you guys have barely been married at all. That's fantastic. But like, if I'm going to ask someone about marital advice, or how do you stay married a long time, or what are the secrets to marriage, or what matters, I'm asking them, like I'm not asking all the other people I know that have been divorced and married. It's like, well, that's not someone who's demonstrated that whole solid thing. And it is what it is. But again, I'm not going to ask advice. That person may be really good at basket weaving. So I'm going to go, well, aside from your marital issues, teach me how to make a basket like you do. You're amazing at it. So whatever the case is. So show me, don't tell me. Gets into relationships. I think I've covered a few of these, right? Friends. I just think it's a good idea that people sometimes not get too wrapped up in words. Words are extremely easy to fake, especially coming from a person that's huge on words my whole life, like my career and everything. Like I've been tied up with words, and that's fantastic. So yeah, you can say whatever you want. You can make anything sound any way you want. Words are great, but ultimately it's like, what are they showing you? What's the actions? They say they love you, great. Are they showing it? Because a lot of times I think we continue on in relationships for a number of reasons that aren't necessarily reality. A lot of times we tell ourselves things over and over, words to ourselves, right? And eventually we really come to the conclusion where we've just got to look at this situation in the face and come to terms with it. I've got another good friend that had a situation with a serious relationship gone awry, after many, many, many years, the infamous marriage falling apart. And this individual kept trying and kept trying and kept trying to kind of fix and make something work and like try it at a number of different angles. But ultimately it came down to the other side of the matter too, and that individual didn't want to change. They just didn't. They kept reverting back to who they were, and that was the conflict. And forever that would not resolve itself. So the only way for her to get off that merry-go-round was to get off the merry-go-round. So she's very new into this step, but that's a great example of show me, don't tell me. You need to see it in action sometimes rather than what you keep telling ourselves, you, me, I do it too, that we keep telling ourselves inside our heads. And, it just makes the path a lot easier to figure out. So when you're having questions about things, bring up this concept in your head, show me, don't tell me, right? Like no matter what it is, it kind of probably should apply. With a boss at work, it's kind of, you can't be demanding, but like, what is he showing me versus what I hear? You did a great job on this. And then he goes and throws it on his desk, or they never end up using it, or whatever the case is. You're like, well, he's telling me all this stuff, but he's obviously not meaning it. Kids can be the same way. They can say all they want, and anyone that's got kids knows it's kind of funny too, because they learn lying from us, pretty much, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't learn it as much. But yeah, so kids can lie about everything. What are you doing? And nothing. And it's like, are you trying to grab a cookie? No. And their hands in the freaking cookie jar. Like, really? Like, that's not what I don't know. It's like, it's just, they're cute. They're adorable, but, they lie. That's all I'm saying. Survival of the fittest. And the main reason I brought this up, I think this is all good topic stuff. One of the first things that happened to me when I got involved in the real spiritually kind of weird stuff, I had some teachers and all those kinds of things. One of the first things they often tell you to do is to stop watching the news, stop listening to the radio for the most part, and really just kind of detach yourself from a lot of those devices. And at first it's like, what? It's like, I don't need to stay in touch with the world. I'm supposed to like channel what's actually happening and figure this all out. No. It's because there's so much negativity that is thrown around and stated and said on the news that it really defeats the purpose. The news makes it sound like there are amazingly horrendous things happening constantly, always, everywhere, 100% of the time. And the reality of it is they're dying for news stories frequently to where not that many things happened in one day, and mostly good things or average things happened in the day. And so, the news kind of purports it. It's out of proportion. It's slanted. It's viewed. It's towards a different side. And then, not to get too terribly into things, but there are, believe it or not, people that pull purse strings, powers that be, that use a number of ways to manipulate us. But one of them is through fear. They understand through the spiritual concepts, how we are as spiritual beings, that fear is a very damaging thing to ourselves. When we experience fear, we are causing damage to ourselves. No one else. No one else at all. When enough people collectively think fear, then bad things definitely will and can happen. And you can do studies with this, and there's actually been studies done, and I dare you to go dig for them because there's stuff that'll say the opposite too. So whatever you want to go find out there is out there. But certainly there are plenty of studies that suggest when enough people have similar thoughts, have similar views, angles that they're focusing on for a period of time, that amazing things have happened. Some would call it miraculous. It's been done with prayer. It's been done actually on an overnight talk show that they did it, and they actually focused on trying to turn a hurricane, and conveniently that hurricane went in a different direction, and actually in their case caused worse damage, which they became very afraid of ever doing that again because of the possibility that things sometimes are supposed to happen how they are. And trying to alter that can actually make things maybe worse in another area, right? So sometimes things are just supposed to kind of happen the way they do. But anyway, show me, don't tell me. Don't let the media freak you out. Don't let them talk about things. Believe it or not, there's a lot of really, really good stuff happening. They don't talk about it on the news because, frankly, it's not newsworthy. Most people are watching the news or listening to the news to, quote, catch up on the day and see what's going on. But just kind of be mindful of the fact that think about, again, stop and like, what are they showing you on the news, right? What are they telling you on the news? And when you really break it down and you look at the fact that, I don't know, probably a solid 75% of it is meant to concern you, make you scared, make you believe in a certain direction, or feed you with a little bit of information, but it's actually more an opinion because they don't really have time to break into the facts, and you're just supposed to kind of believe that. It's just funny how it ebbs and flows, and certainly you can reach a point in your development where you can actually watch the news and listen to the news and not be as wrapped up in it and see it for more of what it is. Here's what they're telling everyone. That's really what it is. Here's what they are telling everyone. Who's they? I don't know. But they are telling us what they want us to know. All right. That's about as hopefully as conspiratorial as I ever get on this show, even though, oh my God, don't even get me started on how much stuff. It's beautiful. Anywho, Spirit Radio Dan Style at gmail.com. Please contact me. Email me. You got questions or thoughts? You hate me for what I just talked about? I'm good either way. Just share. That's what I'm talking about. Spirit Radio Dan Style at gmail.com. And, of course, always love subscribers on Dan Radio Style. I appreciate you joining me on this. Show me, don't tell me. Come on, baby. Give me some evidence, and maybe I'll walk with you.